Corporal Scott Kreger clips on a device that is as natural as putting on his police uniform. It's a wearable camera. The Laurel, Maryland Police Department has 30 of these cameras mounted on the glasses of their patrol officers. It's something the Ferguson, Missouri white police officer never had when he shot and killed a black man, setting off riots in that town and around the country. Corporal Kreger says a body camera might have changed the outcome.
People could have reviewed it and seen it immediately what really happened, and then there would be no question.
And here's how. When Corporal Kreger makes a traffic stop, he turns the camera on, informs the driver of his violation, and says,
Also want to let you know that you're being recorded right now, audio and visually, okay, with my camera.
Here's how that looks from his angle.
I need to get your license and registration, please.
Corporal Kreger can check the video through an app on his phone when he returns to his cruiser, but he cannot alter it in any way.
People knowing that the cameras are there could possibly change their actions, their demeanor, whether they're going to be belligerent towards us or they're going to be compliant with us.
Half an hour away, Lieutenant T.J. Smith is tweeting. The Anne Arundel County Police Department lets residents know what crimes are occurring. They ask their followers on Facebook and Twitter for tips, and the 44,000 they call social media sleuths come through.
We let them know that they helped us solve that crime, and to watch them literally give virtual high fives. And it just is a sense of community, it's a sense of ownership.
Smith says one suspect taunted police online, suggesting they'd never find him. A sleuth posted a tip, and
the very next day, we were able to put up that banner.
Lieutenant Smith says most citizens want to keep their communities safe, so this type of transparency and cooperation prompts respect on both sides. Carolyn Presutti, VOA News.
As the men and women of day shift lock, load, and hit the road, they are armed with an entirely new type of law enforcement weapon.
All right, where are we going?
The ability to predict where crime is going to occur.
All the computer takes into effect is actual incidents that have occurred and have been reported. It really doesn't know anything about the demographics of individuals who live in that area, what the economic statuses of these individuals are, or anything about the person. It's all area specific.
Today, PredPol is more than a toy to tinker with for the SCPD. In fact, it's the main law enforcement tool in their arsenal.
So taking a look at now today on day shift, this is an actual live map of where we think the predictive zones are for auto theft today. Now the orange dots represent where we have had actual auto thefts. What's interesting is as you look at the map, you'll see locations where we've had auto theft, but there's no boxes around them. That's what the program does for us. The algorithm weighs those and lets us know if that's a significant thing that we need to be concerned about for this shift.
So for me, I have an academic science background, so data is king. When you think of police work, you kind of think about guys going with their gut and using instinct to kind of motivate where they would be patrolling and that type of thing. So what is your response and what have you learned from using PredPol?
We're not telling you how to do police work. We're just telling you where are the best locations for you to be at any given time in the day and police what you see.
In its first year using PredPol, Santa Cruz PD saw assaults down 9%, burglaries down 11%, and robberies down 27%. Meanwhile, auto theft recovery was up 22%, and arrests were up 56%.
We've seen. Meanwhile, another woman walks out, holds back for a few seconds, and is rushed into the car, surrounded by several officers. In the picture, you see police, some in face masks and bulletproof vests, guns pointed upward. You also see the police vehicle where the people are being evacuated to. And if the armored truck this man and woman are being escorted into for safety looks familiar to you, well, you're not alone. We've seen a variation of this police vehicle on the news in the U.S. for months. Deployed over and over again in Ferguson, brought out by police tactical units trying to contain what were largely peaceful protests. Today, its use in Canada was a reminder these types of military vehicles can serve a purpose under extreme circumstances, as today unquestionably was. That's what they were built for, and that's what they should be used for, and only used for.
We've got the only stabilization system on the market. This truck, armored with the Aries mounted and front and rear stabilization, is rock solid.
It's extremely stable, much more than what I've seen of any other unit out there. So your ability to rapidly put a team in or extract a team out of a building or an aircraft, it's going to just be that much more enhanced.
We have a rule in MIT, and it's known as our 3 deep rule. We want 3 guys shoulder to shoulder, but we have a tagline: somebody has to go in first, but nobody should have to go in alone. So what we do is allow 3 men side by side to move to that apex point, move to that fatal funnel, move to that doorway window or whatever it is that you're having to enter, and allow you to go 1, 2, 3 immediately side by side.
Nobody wants a fair fight out there. You know what I mean? We want to go in there as much as we can, overwhelming force, shut them down right away, and save the most amount of people you can. And you do that by having the tactical advantage, and Ares gives you that.
Operators are going to see this and they're going to know. They're going to light up and realize this is the product I've been waiting for. This is the product that will allow us to take our own safety and the safety of those that we're trying to rescue in these situations to the next level.
We're all here for
The $400,000 Bearcat was funded by the Australian government to build on the country's counter-terrorism capability. Bearcats are built by Lenco Industries in America, a leading international designer and manufacturer of armoured vehicles.
We welcome the contribution the Commonwealth has made as part of the National Counter-Terrorism Committee arrangements. This is about capability enhancement, and this is a great addition to our fleet. It's the second Bearcat that we've added to the armoury here in New South Wales. We know how important the Bearcat has been for us now for many years, and I wouldn't see this one being any different. This is about adding to capability, keeping our officers safe.
The vehicle was selected because it provides a high level of protection to our officers and the community, and has a proven capability that is used throughout the world by law enforcement agencies. It is bullet and blast resistant and can help safely rescue hostages or officers. The New South Wales Police Force Tactical Operations Unit will deploy the vehicle for high-risk police situations.
Today we are going to be talking about the North Hollywood Shootout. On February 28, 1997, Larry and Emil armed themselves with an HK-91, 3 Norinco 56 rifles, and a Bushmaster X-15. All of the weapons were equipped with drum magazines. One of the Norincos and the Bushmaster even had illegally modified fun switches. In addition to a ton of firepower, the two carry 3,300 rounds of ammunition in drum magazines and pouches on their bodies. As far as body armor goes, Larry was wearing a 40-pound homemade suit of level 3A Aramid body armor. His chest, arms, and legs were completely covered. Emil was also wearing a 3A vest that he had slipped an additional metal plate into. Level 3A vests, by the way, can protect the body from small arms fired like 9mm, 38, and 44. Remember this fact, it's important. Emil and Larry drove up to the Bank of America and strolled right in. Unfortunately for them, 2 LAPD officers saw them walking into the bank and picked up their radios and said something to the effect of, "Holy shit, guys, come check this out." So some more police got there and set up a perimeter. Due to some recent changes in the Bank of America policy, possibly caused by 2 heavily armed men in body armor running all over Los Angeles robbing Bank of Americas, the 2 only walked out with $300,000, which was ruined after dive bombs exploded all over the money. Larry Phillips walked out of the bank, saw a cruiser, and opened fire on it, wounding 7 officers and 3 civilians with his initial burst. Emil exited the opposite side of the bank, and both men opened up on officers waiting outside. And then the officers gunned them down with their patrol rifles. Right? Wrong. Patrol rifles weren't a big thing back then. Some agencies had them, but most didn't. Guess what the officers did have? 38 revolvers and 9mm handguns. What is that grip? Remember what we talked about with the level 3A body armor? 9mm and 38 doesn't do very well against it. The patrol officers realized this and ganked 5 AR-15s from a local pawn shop. While still in the parking lot, Emil got shot in his ass and left forearm, so he jumped into the getaway vehicle. Larry grabbed the HK-91 from the trunk and continued shooting at police while using the car as cover. He got popped a few more times, pulls out a Beretta, gets popped in the hand, picks up the Beretta, and smokes himself. At the same exact time he ate his gun, he was also shot in the spine by a police officer, severing his spine and putting him on the ground. Emil tried to get away from police, but they shot the shit out of his car. He tries to carjack a Jeep truck, but the owner runs off with the keys. 18 minutes after the shooting had started, LAPD SWAT arrives on scene wearing shorty shorts, tennis shoes, and the first thing they did was commandeer, goddamn road pirates, an armored vehicle to extract wounded officers and civilians. SWAT then engaged Emil for nearly 2.5 minutes of uninterrupted gunfire. His armor absorbs a lot of rounds before one SWAT guy gets the idea to prone out and shoot the shit out of his legs from underneath the car. Immel, now with 29 bullets in his ass, arm, and legs, decides to surrender. Immel ended up dying from blood loss after taking approximately 20 rounds to the legs, and then his family sued the LAPD because of this, but it ended in a mistrial due to a hung jury. In the end, Immel and Larry had fired nearly 1,100 rounds. Police fired close to 650 rounds. 18 people were injured, but by some divine intervention, no one other than the two robbers were killed. Because of this incident, many agencies across the United States started issuing patrol rifles to patrol officers.